On this week's Hot List, turning the tide, two different but major corruption cases. Are authorities winning the fight? Third time the charm, Defense Minister Prabowo Subianto says he's running for president again. Will 2024 be his time? And Golden Dream, could the Olympics really be held in Indonesia's new capital city? Hello and welcome. This is Hot Indonesia. I'm Dalton Tanonaka in Jakarta. Let's get to it. My co-host, Millie Lukito, is CEO of the Mobiliari Group from her home in Jakarta. And Linda Ibrahim is a writer and business consultant based here in the capital city. Hot topic number one, turning the tide. First, palm oil tycoon Surya Darmadi arrested upon arrival from Taiwan on August 15th. Authorities say corruption and money laundering resulted in a loss of $5 billion to the state. He's also being investigated for bribery in a separate case. Second, a university chancellor in Lampung in South Sumatra charged with taking tuition money from students for personal use. In all, Karo Money is accused of diverting 5 billion rupiah or $340,000 by charging students more than the normal price. Okay, let's start with the university case. You know, we've talked about numerous corruption schemes in the past, but, you know, this one is a first. I haven't heard of this, not saying it hasn't happened. Linda, to you first. This is almost as bad as that cabinet minister who was taking cuts from COVID relief money.
Yeah, so whenever this happened, I always wanted to know who's the power in receiving all this money, enabling for that corruption to happen in the first place. And why certain schools are perceived to be the gateway for better living. That's a reality of unbalancedness in education system. You know, so parents are willing to give money so that the children can go to certain schools. But the thing is also there got to be somebody in those schools that are opening that door for opening the back door. You know, so it's.
Well, it's the university chancellor who was soliciting funds.
Right. So.
Suspected of. I'm sorry, he hasn't been convicted yet. This doesn't just happen here, of course. I mean, it's the first time I've heard of it here. In the U.S., you remember the big cases of
involving
celebrity parents trying to buy their way, get their kids into certain schools.
But Dalton, it's probably the first time for you to have heard it here in Indonesia, but it's a common practice. You know, I've heard it.
But he's the first one that got arrested, from what I understand. Now, families here, as you said, Linda, exhaust all of their resources to send their children to college. They save their money. The kids work hard. The competition is very intense. So, Millie, I guess that the suspect guessed correctly that parents and students would pay more than the normal price.
Yes. So, Dalton, sadly, in Indonesia, there is this culture of those who are in power, in whatever setting the power is, but those who are in power and those who are sort of like the people or the community who needs that power for them to be able to be effective. In this case, it's the chancellor who holds the power versus the parents who needs that power, you know, to be able to enable their children to get proper education. And this always happens, this setting always happens, especially outside of Java, where it is sort of too far-reaching from the central government. It's very sad, of course, but that is reality. Unfortunately, our legal system is still far too weak to be able to prevent these things from happening. So looking forward, I think we need to really take a look again on the education system, the legal system behind it, to prevent such things from happening again.
Well, I hope it's not the system. I hope it's just a bad individual, if he is convicted of trying to enrich himself at the expense of poor and struggling families. Now, let's get to the business case. Surya Darmadi, owner of the conglomerate Duta Palma Group, prosecutors say he caused state losses by illegally occupying state land for his group. Now, Linda, he's well known, friendly with politicians and business people. Is this another sign that the Anti-Corruption Commission, KPK, is making progress? He's a big fish.
Well, yeah. KPK, despite all of the controversies in the past couple of years, I believe still have some of his strongest teeth on. And but if you really look at the chains of events, toward the end, it was the Attorney General office also, immersed themselves in this case for Surya Dharmadi to be captured. And I believe we have to give credit for both parties, as much as I support KPK and all that, but this is not just the KPK's own achievement.
Yeah, because he's a private individual as opposed to a
Yeah.
government official. Attorney generals would be the lead agent on this. Authorities seized Dharmadi's assets, in this case, including 2 hotels in Bali. Millie, what is your take on the job that authorities are doing, especially with major business figures like this?
Yeah, they're doing an excellent job. But again, to reiterate, there is this. This is a perfect crime, happened between 2 consenting adults, one from the government side, one from the private side, and it always happens because those who have the power abuse the power, and they lure the private sector. But the private sector, they are only business people. For them, if there is opportunity for profit, why not take it? So yeah, I happen to know a lot of business people who are lured into this by those in power, and I feel sad because in the end, of course, either the KPK or those in the legal sector, it seems like a party for them that they are able to catch big fish like this. But I think it's very imbalanced because they are only saying that, oh, this is a big catch, big fish, big criminal. But on the other side, they should also review the law again and review why this could happen and to prevent it from happening again in the future.
Well, obviously, while he's in custody, they're going to ask him, who did you deal with? And then there'll be more arrests and more charges. In this case, you have to have, like you said, two sides to it.
Yes, but I think the legal system has to be strengthened now that we have to learn. Because in Indonesia, look at in the education system, this happened in this University of Lampung between the chancellor of the school and parents. This is actually the same type of crime between those in power, abusing the power, luring the private sectors.
But the parents don't enrich themselves at the expense of someone else. I mean, that's both sides.
No, the parents get the benefit, not enriching, but they get the benefit of maybe their children get to
I
be
understand.
accepted in the school.
We'd all do what we can for our children. One last point, Millie. You said luring the businessman. I mean, you're not saying he's a victim. I mean, he willingly went into this if convicted. So you're saying it's half the blame should go to the government official who made the offer or he approached.
To make it a balanced review of everything of the case. Of course,
but in the end, it's everyone's decision to make their own choice on what to do when you're doing business. And they're saying that he made the wrong choice. Okay, Hot Indo will continue shortly with third time the charm. Will this man finally win the presidency after losing twice?
Saya ingin mengumumkan kerjasama dengan The Indonesia Channel. Saya mendorong semua entitas untuk bergabung dalam upaya ini dengan mempromosikan produk dan layanan mereka di platform digital yang unik ini.
I love Indonesia. I love the food. Yummy. Wow. I'm gonna hunt for ingredients. Now I'm ready to cook. Let's go to the kitchen. It's done. Let's meet to eat.
Foodiepedia on the Indonesia Channel.
I'm Trần Minh Ngân of VCCN Net Việt in Hanoi.
I'm Thairat Thomya of Thailand's Thairat TV in Bangkok.
I'm Monica Sambodet from the National Television of Cambodia in Phnom Penh.
I'm Raymond Go of Malaysia's TV3 in Kuala Lumpur.
I'm Glenda Chong of Singapore's Channel News Asia.
I'm Raisa Chantami of the Indonesia channel at the ASEAN Secretariat in Jakarta.
This is your weekly look into the dynamic Southeast Asia region.
ASEAN Today on the Indonesia Channel.
The Best of Bali takes viewers on a special guided tour to the treasures of the island of the gods.
Well, the romantic dinner is beautiful.
The Best of Bali, only on the Indonesia Channel.
You're watching Hot Indonesia with Millie, Linda, and me. Here's hot topic number 2, third time the charm. He's tried twice before and lost both times to Joko Widodo. Former General Prabowo Subianto now serves as Defense Minister and recently confirmed his candidacy for 2024. He's been at the top of most political surveys up to now and has avoided controversy in his current cabinet position. Minister Prabowo will be 72 years old come election day. He's also run for vice president with Megawati Sukarnoputri and lost. Millie, if I were the defense minister, I'd be thinking, I think this is my time.
Okay. First of all, he has to run because he is his own political party chair. It is expected of him. That is his duty. Unless he step aside and he choose another contender to run in his place, in which case that hasn't happened. So he is running. And this time around, he has a really, really good chance of winning because, as we all know, he is in Pak Jokowi's cabinet as a cabinet minister, and he is doing well in his position now. And he is backed by NU. And if he,
which is one of the largest Muslim organizations in this country, right?
The largest, actually.
And if he chooses the right candidate to be his running partner, he really has a winning ticket, I think.
Being in the cabinet, as you said, Millie, gives him credibility, gives him a public stage, and the opportunity to do good things. But accepting that job also cost him support, and some followers, or because some followers felt he betrayed his position as the opposition. Now, Linda, was he joining the administration a net gain or net loss for him?
I kind of lean with Ibu Millie was saying that it's a net gain for him. He did, of course, by doing so, lost, the hardline Islamic groups, because they all hated him for doing that in the jumping ship. And that number is considerably large. However, he must have, by doing that, won the swinging voters, the one in the middle, the one that didn't like the two nationalities or the two Islamic. There's people in the middle. So by doing that, I think Prabowo won that a little bit. So yeah, probably. I mean, he's in a good place. However, one thing though that you have to remember, in 2024. There's going to be a large chunk of first-time voters coming in. These are the Gen Zs and the first batch of the Gen Alpha. And then they have zero memory of whatever good things Prabowo did during the New Order. He was, and also the bad things that he did. So they're like blank slate. The last batch of Gen Z and the first batch of the Gen Alpha. And
So that's a good thing for him.
no, it might be depending on whoever's supplying information to these batches. You know what I mean?
Well, that's called campaigning.
Right. But here's the thing. What I noticed from those two, is that they really hate what they call the boomers. And Prabowo, and Prabowo, if you compare it to Ganjar, Ridwan Kamil, Bapak Andika, the general, if you just put a visual of all of them, the one that looks the most boomer is Prabowo. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be discriminative on the physical aspect.
Yeah, and when you say boomers, you mean older people, basically. People born between, if I remember, 46 and 64.
No. They don't care about the actual definition of generation. They just call whoever sound and look like a boomer, like outdated, and they would call it such. Because every day on Twitter, that's what they do. Whenever they disagree with someone older, they
So it's not fair to boomers to call them a boomer.
It's not. It's not. So, but that would really play into the factor, unfortunately, because these are the generation grown up on visuals. They only live on TikTok.
And let's see General Prabowo's social media campaign, which would be a big part, and let's see if he's raised his game in that area. Now, Mr. Prabowo is seen as a moderate Muslim, and the historical practice has been to team with a conservative running mate to draw those votes, and this was Jokowi's successful strategy. Millie, must General Prabowo have a more religious partner to win?
No, I think in response to what Linda was saying about the younger generation, now 2024 will be very interesting because the younger generation will be there to participate, and therefore for General Prabowo, it's important to choose the right running mate to be able to gather and to be interesting to those to the millennials.
So you're saying that's more important than getting a more religious partner?
Yes, for sure. For sure, yes. For 2024 especially. So all the presidential hopefuls will definitely have to choose a running mate who reflect well the lifestyle of the younger generation, the millennials, and they have to be able to, again, quote unquote, lure the younger generation and the millennials to want to join the political contestation in 2024.
Okay, but Millie, he did that last time. Sandiaga Uno, or the tourism minister now, was a perfect candidate for that role, attracting the young people, and they still lost.
Yes, but I'm sorry, Dalton, he was against President Jokowi.
Okay.
It's very difficult to win against President.
But if he had a Sandiaga Uno this time, that could be the winning ticket.
That could be interesting, actually.
That could be interesting, yes. Could be interesting.
Or someone in his age group or young looking like, young appearing as him, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Now, I think that past criticism of his human rights record as a general is behind him now. I think it's rarely raised. Although I expect opponents to raise it if it's a tough election. I mean, everything's fair in politics. Linda, we've talked about other early contenders in previous shows. If all goes smoothly for General Prabowo until the 2024 election, wouldn't you think it's Prabowo's race to lose?
I would not discount early Ganjar Pranowo, or a couple of other names, because like Ibu Millie was saying, this is still 2022. There are 2 years to come. A lot of things can happen in 2 years that just make or break someone's candidacy.
But that's why I said if all goes smoothly, nothing changes.
I don't know about the Gen Z would be willing, or Gen Alpha would be willing to vote for him, and they're substantial, their number.
Well, I think he's got to go to like music events, General Prabowo, like raves or festival in the clouds.
May I remind you guys what he said when asked about unicorns? That showed that he really did not understand about e-commerce, and a lot of people in e-commerce business and IT business and startups remember that.
I'm sure he learned now. I mean, I don't think he'd make that mistake. That would be.
You don't know.
Yeah.
I try not to raise my hope too
I'm
much.
sure his supporters will fill him in until or before the next debate and next election. Okay, Hot Indo will continue. More is ahead with Golden Dream. Is it possible to hold the Nusantara Games?
Produk lokal memang handal, kreasi lokal memang spesial. Ayo beli buatan negeri, bangga sekali produk sendiri. Dari busana sampai kria, kuliner juga buatan kita. Ayo beli kreatif lokal, marilah beli produk kreatif lokal. Pejuang negeri, beli kreatif lokal, banggalah beli produk kreatif lokal. Wow.
I'm Caitlin Turner, and welcome to Yoga Bliss. Exhale, reaching down to triangle pose. Roll your knee out and up to the sky, breathing here.
Yoga Bliss, only on the Indonesia Channel.
You are watching iPop Playlist.
iPop on the Indonesia Channel.
You're watching Hot Indonesia from Jakarta. Hot topic number 3, Golden Dream. Leaders have made Olympic bids in the past, but now they have another element to offer. Sports Minister Zainuddin Amali says the 2036 Summer Games should be held in Indonesia's new capital city, Nusantara, being built in East Kalimantan. Besides promoting the new center of government, all new training facilities and stadiums would be built to host the global competition. Now, if you remember, we bid for the 2032 games, but we lost to Brisbane. I think this latest proposal will be more attractive. Since we're building the capital, we can build state-of-the-art sports facilities for the event, and then athletes will have them to train for games or any other athletics after that. Linda, it makes sense to me.
There is a study that I read several years ago about what happened to Olympic venues. Like about 80% of them went unused, unless the country or the city keep winning the next bids for smaller events.
No, but I know those studies. The difference is those countries already had training facilities for their athletes. Indonesia doesn't have it. So this would serve as the new wave of facilities.
I beg to differ. We actually do have it. Badminton has one of the best training facilities in Asia, and there's several training facilities here around where I live, in central Jakarta. So yes,
not world class for sports like football or soccer. I mean, they're complaining that they don't have.
Maybe not for those, but
and those are the ones that get international attention.
Yeah. Go build it, and if we have to spare money for it, because as far as I'm concerned, we don't even have the money enough yet to build the actual capital. But yeah, if we get spare money, why not?
With the population so big, we've always mentioned this factor too. We should have more sports success. It makes common sense. You look at the three countries bigger than us, they're always winning. Especially, as I mentioned, in football. The Indonesian Football Association says it is discussing with the government to build that world-class training site in Nusantara. Millie, do you support this Olympics bid?
Yes, of course. But most importantly, personally, I don't think Nusantara will be ready by then, even to host an event as big as the Olympics. But
that's 14 years away.
Yes, but by bidding, it puts Indonesia on the map. It's more a branding exercise for our country. Sadly to say, yes, but it is, and. And it also inspires our athletes to want to improve themselves because, yes, we have that vision. 14 years ahead from us, we might host the Olympics at the Nusantara. But most importantly, in the short term, we actually have a short-term gain and benefit of that branding. That Indonesia is building something new, and we might be ready 14 years from now to host the Olympics.
Very good analysis. But I think if you combine those two, the branding exercise and the promotion of Indonesia as a sports venue, plus actually building world-class facilities, if those two came together, it could be very successful. And my point about in Nusantara I want to make is that it's isolated. It's not in the capital. No distractions for athletes. They can focus on their performances. And that's another plus because we've seen how in other Olympics athletes have gotten in trouble partying and going out into different venues. So I think they would be good. The performances would be better. And after it's over in Nusantara, then they come to Jakarta or go to Bali and hang out. It's feedback time now. Alfonsi had this to say on the YouTube page of our partner TV1. Wow, it's cool that there's news in English discussing Indonesian issues. I like this kind of interaction. And TMF posted this. If interfaith marriages are legalized, that means Indonesia no longer respects religious values. Here's how to contact us with your feedback. Email at hotindo@theindonesiachannel.com or comment through our Indonesia channel or Hot Indonesia, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube pages. Final words, Millie.
Well, the Chinese community is now preparing to celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival. We celebrate by enjoying the moon cake. And I think this is good as a reminder of number one, history and also culture. And that the Chinese business community not only thinking of only doing business, profit, but we also understand the importance of history and of culture, and that the Chinese community business people can also blend in with the Indonesian business people very well by eating more mooncake.
Final words, Linda.
I have a good personal story to share. So starting last Sunday, the 21st August, I have a new column. It's on the Sunday edition of Kompas, Indonesia's leading newspaper in Indonesian. And it's running every other Sunday. The column is called Etalase, or a shop front, because that's what it is. It's a small stage for conversation starters that can go further or not. And this is actually my 5th column. I've had it before with the Jakarta Post, Grazia Indonesia, and Kumparan, and Berita Melayu with Media Corp Singapore. Although at the moment only the Berita Melayu, Media Corp Singapore, and the Kompas Minggu, they are still running. So if you love to read about what's going on in Indonesia and urban life in Indonesia, maybe you should check out my new column. Sorry for the shameless plug.
Besides watching Hot Indonesia, of course.
Yes.
My final words now. For those born here and longtime residents, leaving the country is a way to get a clearer picture of just what Indonesia is. Days away in more developed countries show you that places may be more orderly, but far less stimulating. And creature comforts such as live-in maids and gourmet dining do exist here for far less the price. Yes, the downsides of rule bending and corruption are here too, but upon returning from overseas, many, including me, embrace the positives like a separated lover. And that is Hot Indonesia for this week. For Millie Lukito and Linda Ibrahim, I'm Dalton Tanaraka. Thank you very much for watching. Please join us again next time.